You know, it was Remembrance Day recently. That's what we call it up here in Canada. Remembrance Day. And it's just got me thinking how our favorite cartoon is all about robots fighting, and frankly, I don't really know how to tie that into Beachcomber, but this is Legacy Evolution Beachcomber. So Beachcomber, who coincidentally matches my shirt, is basically the pacifist of the Autobots. The one who really doesn't want to go to war, really wishes we could just stop fighting and just, I don't know, I guess be friends and live peacefully. That, yeah, well, we can all wish for that. I don't know if we're going to see a day when that actually happens. There's one dedicated episode, I think. It's the Golden Lagoon, where there's like a pond of some mineral that makes all the Transformers immune to laser guns, and then they just start shooting everywhere and like destroy massive amounts of trees. And at the very end of the episode, Beachcomber's just sitting down on, I think, what's like a tree stump and just like contemplating the senseless violence he took part in. So, yeah. Remember when our great-grandparents in that generation went to war? But Beachcomber himself is here as a toy, because the main purpose of that cartoon about war is to sell toys to kids and people who never grew out of being kids. But he is the original use of a mold we've seen on the channel before. Ruckus. And holy crap, I didn't see this comparison in hand until recently, and jeez. Like, he's almost a full... No, he's more than a full head taller. You're bordering on to, like, Deluxe and Voyager scale, almost. But they're so much different. The only things that are really the same are the upper shoulders, the hip assembly, and the wheels. Essentially, like, they both use the same wheels. They use the same mechanism for folding the legs in, but I did not realize how big a difference it was. But this guy does feel familiar, and that was mostly because he is very similar to the last Beachcomber, the Titan's Return. Like, it kind of feels like Beachcomber has only one design. Like, these are so close, you could almost say that this has not really made much change to this, although it has. We'll dive into that. It's like, Beachcomber really only has one design style. And you can update it all you want, it's still pretty much going to be the same design philosophy. But like, this guy has a brand new set of joints compared to his previous version, including a ball-jointed neck, no longer ball-jointed shoulders, but universal hinge, which only go out that far, but rotate all the way around. They're not hindered by Ruckus's backpack. Get a bicep swivel with a deep elbow bend and a wrist joint. I do kind of wish his wrists were gray. Wish they put more paint, but you do get a wrist swivel, along with a waist swivel, universal hips, which go all the way out, thigh swivel, 90-degree knee bend, the big ankle pivot, nothing forward and back. His heel can go down, but that's mainly for transformation. You know, I like the new version. Like, I like the added posability, the waist. It just makes me wonder why they couldn't pull it off with the Titans Return version. Like the ankle, him actually having feet. That's a good start. The wrist. You know, you can, like, listen to all that said about the character, but if you just take one look at his face, you can pretty much see what his whole deal is. Like, his eyes look sad, and he's even sort of like frowning, or just like pondering. Like, everything you need to know about him is just in that head sculpt. And also, he's got a flat top. There's only one other character I can think of when it comes to flat top, and it's a character named Flat Top. Oh yeah, I didn't. His pants have the same sort of robot-looking face on them as Ruckus, so they kept the waist. But he comes with the same gun that came with Ruckus. It's a very oddly styled gun. I think it's glossier. They use a different black paint. Compared to this one. Now I have to go pick that up. And he can hold it by the peg handle, or I guess the peg on the side. And, you know, he's probably not going to shoot it at anybody, because that's just who he is. He really doesn't want to fight. Although, don't mistake his pacifism for an inability to defend himself. Like, often, pacifists, well, they're frankly, like, I think about Ultraman Cosmos. He's considered a pacifist in his series and in, like, the lore of Ultraman, but, like, he's probably one of the greatest fighters they have, because just because you don't want to fight doesn't mean other people agree with that. So you kind of learn that you have to defend your ideals if you want to have ideals. This gun, meh. So, transformation is pretty close to Ruckus. They're almost the same. There are some things... Well, there's one big motion that this guy does that Ruckus doesn't, that seems to be Beachcomber's iconic move. It's the sliding torso joint. Because, yeah, it just seems to be his move. So do that. We're going to fold the heel spurs down out of the way. Fold the back of his shin. And let's just make sure his legs are tabbed in everywhere they can. Although they do like to become separate. Like the tabs that lock them together don't lock them together very strongly, but just hinge them all the way around, close the panels back up. Everything should be tabbed in. Make sure these bits are... Oh, I forgot a step. Fold out that, because the seats are going to peg into his spinal column. And then the arms have a tab that are going to tab into that bottom slot right there. Like that. Do the same thing. And then make sure these pieces, this roll cage, are pegged together. And there you go. I forgot his other accessory. The other thing that makes him unique from Ruckus. A bird. A bird. Now, in robot mode, you can plug it on his shoulder. And I swear this has something in the lore to do. So this is known as the Paradise Parakeet, based off a species of bird that went extinct 100 years ago, and also a bird he met in the aforementioned Golden Lagoon episode. Apparently, it's also on the box. It's that important an accessory, it got billing on the box. And it's so small you could probably inhale it. But on the vehicle mode, it's going to go like right there. Or on the other side. And you can plug this machine gun, because apparently it's a machine gun, into the front to complete a grill. And you have dune buggy. This is basically a dune buggy. You know, it looks good. The wheels, just like Ruckus, are nice and squishy and rollable. I like the roll cage. And I do actually like the 2 seats. I wish there was room to have somebody sitting there, like the Titans Return version. Like, that's pretty much the only reason I'm going to keep both of them, is because I like having the Titans Return cockpit. But yeah, you can see just really how close they are. And they both kind of have this very similar flaws. Visible hands, but I can see you through him. You know, he's easier to transform than Ruckus. I find with Ruckus, like, his arms get stuck just on his legs, and then like, I have to shove them past to get them in the correct spot. But one thing I'm not a huge fan of is the actual, like, exposed feet and the exposed hinges. Like, they do double as like a control panel, like the insides of an actual car. You can sort of see it. Yeah, there's a steering wheel. That's basically it. There's a steering wheel on the underside of his foot. That must be awkward when he's walking around. Like, I imagine it wouldn't be active, but, like, can you... Oh. Imagine, like, just... He stepped on something and it turns the wheel and it just goes, whoa! Like, that'd probably make for some cringy comedy in an episode of an 80s cartoon. That's a perfect place for a cringy comedy. Although falling down is inertly funny in itself. Like, no matter how old you are, just seeing somebody fall down, whether they wanted to or not, is funny. You know, I'm going to completely forget about this bird, but I guess we need a shot with Ruckus. So here he is with Ruckus. And yeah, it's also evident just how different these two vehicle modes are. If it wasn't clear that they were going to be. So this guy did the same thing as his Wave mate, DevCon, which was get canceled when the Wave was about to be fully on shelves and then get a re-release recently, although I still haven't seen this guy's re-release actually. Like DevCon I saw on a shelf. This guy I have not seen. He's even harder to get, and lucky I got one by the Robot Scrapyard because they had a few in finally. I recommend a version of this mold if you want Beachcomber for the updated, like Beachcomber if you never got the Titan's Return, or if you want the bird, I guess. Does that make Beachcomber a pirate? Is that one of the prerequisites to becoming a pirate? All he needs is an eye patch and like to hang out on a ship, pillage British Marines, maybe. Or if you want this version because it looks better and you want these fold out guns, still try and track down the 2-pack with bludgeon. I don't know if that's gotten rare or overpriced. I haven't really bothered to check. I'm still good with mine. Although, I haven't messed with that bludgeon in a while. I only grabbed Ruckus because I remembered, like, this. So, like, this is a good mold. Is there... I think there's, like, maybe a Bayverse dune buggy sort of thing out there, but overall I think this kind of vehicle is very rare. Like these two are characters. I think Sandstorm comes close to the same idea in his vehicle mode, in his land-based vehicle mode. Helicopter mode is a different thing. But, oh yeah, it's a AWACS, but doesn't matter. But yeah, this kind of vehicle mode is nice change. It's not a traditional car. It's kind of cool. And I guess the bird gets like a point for, I don't know, being a bird. It's not the worst accessory to come with a Transformer I could think of, but it kind of ventures on that one episode gag that really... If there was ever a masterpiece Beachcomber, would he come with it? Or would they just go, nah, we don't need it? Because so many masterpieces I've seen have come with like the random episode callbacks. Like, I think Grimlock, a re-release of Grimlock had an apron. Which is hilarious because it's Grimlock. Beachcomber's cool. It's nice when you have so many characters that all they think about is like fighting and, you know, this and that. It's nice to see like a different perspective on things and just to take it back a step and go, oh yeah, besides the fact that you're fighting for something important, you know, protecting the future of the human race, I guess. Even if we... Mm-hmm. You know what? No, let's not go all the way. Let's just say that I can agree with the idea of wanting war to be over and just having peace, but unfortunately it feels like it's in our nature as human beings to unfortunately disagree with each other to the point of extreme. Like, even though we are the human race, we are one race of people who collectively work towards the same ideals of like keeping the planet safe, keeping future generations safe and able to thrive. It unfortunately isn't that simple. I wish it was. Still wars going this day. We see them in the news and then they disappear from our mind quickly because, frankly, there's so much stuff going on that if you pay attention to every little thing, it gets overwhelming. But buy a toy, I guess. Don't think about we're trying to sell a war. Think about we're trying to sell cool toys. So, Beachcomber. Keep it weird. Have a good day. And, I don't know, do something nice for somebody else. Because even though it might be really small, it can be passed along and make something bigger or just make somebody's day in that moment. So do something nice for somebody else. Until next time, bye.